Howdy my totally as always tubular gamers, we're back with, you guessed it, another video. Thanks for coming back to the channel. I don't have a ranking video for you today. I got a nice review. Today we're going to be reviewing South Park Snow Day. But before we begin, I do want to give a major shout out to THQ Nordic and Deadgood for hooking me up with a code. I very much do appreciate it. This was one of my most hyped games of the year, mostly because I love South Park in the prior two games, but yeah, I really do appreciate it. What even is this game? Let's get right into it. So prior to this game's release, I wasn't too sure on what to make of it. Like, I love South Park. It's maybe my favorite show ever. It's some of the funniest shit I've ever seen, unironically, but the art style I was a bit iffy on, and I really wasn't too sure what the gameplay is. So let me try to explain it to you. The game is about a snow day in the town of South Park. The game begins with a cutscene that looks very much like the show and explains that the town is basically being pummeled by this blizzard. And because of that, the kids don't have to go to school, and so they all just play games with each other. They do reference Stick of Truth and Fractured Butthole. You are again the new kid and you get to customize your character. The customization, though, I'll just say it's not Dragon's Dogma 2 and leave it at that. When it comes to the story, the writing, the characters, it very much is South Park. If you like that humor, if you like those characters, the world of South Park, you're going to be happy here. Is it as in-depth as I would have wanted it? No, and it doesn't have as many characters as I would have liked to see, but you know, at least Randy's here. He gets plenty of good moments, and I mean, that's all you could ask for at the end of the day. Look, the writing, characters, story, it's fine for what it is, but it's nothing amazing, not even by South Park standards. But it got a few good chuckles out of me, so I guess it won at the end of the day. So, after you customize your character and do a brief tutorial, you get into the meat and bones of the game. Let's talk gameplay, because the trailers really didn't make it clear what the gameplay actually was for this game, so let me explain it to you. This game is a cooperative action game. Up to 4 players go through 5 rather linear levels, defeating as many kids or adults as possible. This game is not just some giant horde mode, this is not a PvP game, and this is not a live service game. Again, up to 4 players go through 5 very straightforward levels where you just defeat enemies pretty much the entire time. Occasionally you're given some other minor objectives, but I'd say 90% of these levels is combat. So let's talk about the combat. It is rather interesting, and you'll have a few different ways to go in combat. You'll have a melee weapon. There are 3 in the game, and they all behave rather differently from each other, and you know, it's those up close and personal attacks. You have a ranged weapon. 2 of them you do have to charge the shot before you shoot it. The other one's this like wand where it looks like you're peeing fire. And then you have 2 card attacks. See, as you attack enemies, you fill up this like rage meter, and once it gets full enough, you can use one of your card abilities. Before you start each level, you're given a loadout, and you get to choose what you want for these cards. There's a few different cards in the game. You can have like a bubble shield where it protects you, a totem that heals you. There are some offensive ones like where you charge like a bull or maybe put down a defense turret. There's a good amount of these, and they add a little bit of depth. But yeah, once you have enough rage, then you can use them. And then you also have your bullshit card where you do some super OP attack like shoot lasers from your eyes, summon meteors or goons to come help you. And these are rather limited, so you'll want to save these for the moments that matter. When it comes to choosing your bullshit card, you actually only get to choose between 3 at the start of each level. And speaking of cards, that's another dynamic this game has. It actually has cards, and they play a decently important role in this game. When you start each level, you get to choose between a few different cards, and as you progress through the level, you get to choose more cards. Each of these cards are usually buffs to your character, whether certain attacks do more damage, maybe they have extra elements, maybe they've been extended entirely. They're all here to help you. You can also upgrade your cards. See, throughout the level you'll find toilet paper, and that's one of the game's currencies. The toilet paper is only good for the level, and you can use it to make the cards even stronger and your character better and better. Another currency you find is dark matter, which is Mr. Hanky's residue, I'll say, and this allows you to get permanent buffs and upgrades for your characters on a screen that is totally not Baldur's Gate 3. Nope, not connected at all, not referencing, has nothing to do with Baldur's Gate 3. This is just a simple upgrade screen. And then the third currency you get in the game is PP, platinum points. You get this from just doing challenges, and you can buy cosmetics with this. You cannot buy it with real money or crypto or NFTs or any bullshit like that. At least you can't at this moment. As I'm recording this, you can't, and it's pretty manageable. All of these little currencies, the cards, all of this, it adds a bit more depth to the gameplay than just being some really basic action game where you move through, again, very straightforward levels, just beating the absolute shit out of some small children. And the combat in this game, yeah, it's just like okay at best. I've been pretty positive while talking about this game so far, but I'm gonna be real with you, the combat, it's pretty meh in this game. It can be kind of sloppy. I wouldn't say it's terrible or really bad, but I just didn't find it all that fun. It doesn't feel super satisfying. It can feel a little janky at times, and in my experience, ranged weapons were just so weak compared to the melee weapons that I barely even used them, and the only melee weapon that even felt half decent was the heavy axe. And you know, it is kind of cool you can bring these cards in. They add a little variety in tactics to these fights and add some customization, but none of them are anywhere near, say, game changers, and they add maybe a puddle of depth to this rather shallow combat. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, the combat, it is a bit shallow. I mean, they even have like status effects, but it really doesn't mean all that much. There are different enemy types, but they all go down almost the same way, and it just doesn't feel like there's a lot going on under the hood here. After maybe 2-3 hours at most, you've really seen like all of the combat of this game, and it starts to honestly get a little stale. And one reason that I found it getting stale is the AI is just not very good in this game for your teammates and the enemies, especially the team AI. It is just not good in this game. They regularly get stuck on the environment. The pathfinding just isn't very good to begin with, and I frequently saw them just standing there doing almost nothing, if not nothing, even when they're under attack, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Or like when they've got to revive you, sometimes they're really on it and they'll get you up like that. Other times, I couldn't tell you what's going on. But you can't avoid having to play with the shitty team AI if, you know, you have friends, but me over here, yeah, I don't got any friends. Boo-hoo, little totally tubular John that got no friends, little bitch.
Oh, boo-hoo. Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
Okay, I'm grossly exaggerating. That's not actually what the case is. The matchmaking was not online when I played this game, and there's no local co-op. Yeah, in the co-op focus game, there is no local co-op. I don't know why there's no local co-op. I think this is a bit ridiculous, but no local co-op, so I had to play through the entire game solo with the dumbass teammates, where I was just regularly dumbfounded watching them do literally nothing as they're under attack. So maybe this game is actually a lot more fun in co-op. Maybe if you're playing in co-op, you can look past the shallow combat and the encounters are more exciting. You've all got different cards, so you're just blasting these enemies, doing a bunch of different attacks. Yeah, it probably is more fun than playing in solo, and so I'm going to recommend if you play this game at all, don't play it in solo. Otherwise, you'll really be the only one with the cool attacks, and you'll have to take out probably 75% of the enemies and watch as your teammates just don't really do much. And so after all that like last 2 minutes of bitching is why I said the combat really is just okay at best. It really is the definition of a mixed bag. It has some good, it has some bad. I don't think it's awful, but I didn't think it was particularly great either. And this isn't one of those games that's, you know, 50% combat, 50%, you know, exploring or world building or anything like that. No, like 90% of this game is combat. The levels outside of the combat really don't have anything going on. You might get like some really basic objectives, but they all just lead to combat anyway, or a boss fight. And the boss fights in this game, yeah, the boss fights are not very good. They actually really remind me of Suicide Squad, which is not a good sign. Alright, the next thing I want to bring up is not the gameplay, it's actually the presentation. I actually enjoy the presentation of this game. I was really iffy about it before it came out, but I like it. I like the art style. I think it's a decent transition to 3D, way better than those N64 games. The environments look nice. I never had any frame rate issues. It was super smooth, and I genuinely enjoyed the character models and the world of this game. And there's plenty of visual references to the world of South Park as well for longtime fans, which is always a big plus in my book. The music though, yeah, pretty forgettable. At least the voice acting was good. However, when it comes to this game, you know, stability-wise or how many bugs or glitches there were, it wasn't amazing. I had several bugs. I even had one where I just got straight stuck in the environment and had to totally restart the level. That was a bit annoying. The game at times just feels kind of janky and unpolished. It probably needed a little bit more time in the oven, and I'm sure there'll be a day one patch or whatever, but in my experience, yeah, it was a bit buggy. So let's wrap things up. I've been talking long enough about this game. Do I recommend this game? Well, first off, it is worth mentioning the game is priced at $30 full price. Not $50, not $60, not bullshit $70, $30. However, even with that, this game, it really doesn't have a ton to it. Like, you can be done with this game in under 4 hours. I messed around with it for a bit and finished it in around 4.5 hours. Not exactly a long campaign. There's, again, 5 levels, and there are 3 difficulty levels, and there are a few random elements thrown into these levels to try to mix things up. And after you beat all the levels, there are some extra challenges that show up that add a couple of hours of gameplay. But yeah, content wise, there isn't a whole lot to this game. At the very least, the game does end before it starts to really get stale or repetitive. Like, it wraps things up before it overstays its welcome, which is always appreciated. I don't need every game to be stupid long, but yeah, sub 4 hours for the main campaign, that's pretty short. Maybe the game was designed to be the length of a snow day. You and your buddies are home because of terrible weather for a few hours and you want to play something, this is a game to play. In that sense, I guess it's perfect, but I didn't play this game on a snow day. I live in California. I've seen snow like twice in my entire life. There I go again, getting off topic and tangenting. Let's wrap this up. In conclusion, if you don't like South Park, I don't think I can recommend this game to you. I don't think the gameplay holds up well enough to the point where anybody can enjoy this. If you're a fan of South Park, I think you'll be able to overlook the somewhat shallow gameplay and just enjoy it for what it is. It's a few hours of fun, you'll get some laughs, and that's really all there is to it. When it comes to the price point, $30, that's decently reasonable, but I'd still probably say you could wait for a sale at the end of the day. It's probably going to be under $10 in less than a year, if not on Game Pass. But hey, at least the game's not total crap. At its very worst, it's just a mediocre licensed game, but it's way better than any of those N64 games, and at its best, yeah, it's a decent few hours. But I won't lie to y'all, I am a little disappointed with this one. I was expecting a little bit more to it, and what we have here, yeah, it's fine. Maybe I'm just coping out here, but I don't know, it feels like it should have been more. And no local co-op is a huge missed opportunity. Seriously, what the fuck? Okay, whatever. Thanks again to THQ and Deadgood. Really do appreciate it. Hope everyone has a safe, snowy day. Okay, maybe not a snowy day. I hope everyone has a safe day. Thank you so much. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. We got the Patreon and the super thanks as well. Any support is truly greatly appreciated. See y'all later. Bye-bye now.